up on Cedar Valley Today, we'll take you inside one of the nation's leading ambulance manufacturers, and it's located right here in Northeast Iowa.
Fall and the flu. We have what you need to know to keep your family healthy.
In BREMER County construction, money is going towards renovations across the county. This is Cedar Valley Today.
Hello, and welcome to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Alyssa Kozak.
And I'm Ashley Davis. In BREMER County this fall, road work is in full swing. There are 4 major projects in the works. A nearly 600-foot bridge is going up in the Cedar River, and 3 roads are being resurfaced. Some of these projects are expected to be done in November, weather permitting. BREMER County engineer Todd Foncourt says people in the community can help speed up the process.
A lot of the locals use the local roads, which creates other problems for us. We start getting a lot of dust complaints from detour traffic. So, I mean, if possible, we'd like people to honor those detours. And main thing is to honor the traffic control devices on there. The road's closed, it's closed.
In an emergency, you rarely think about the vehicle coming to your rescue.
Kaylin Thompson took an inside look at what goes into making an ambulance.
Lifeline Emergency Vehicles is nationally known for being high-end and very custom. Their craftsmanship has made them the Cadillac of ambulances. Ambulances are used to save lives every day. They hold a very important role in society. But what exactly goes into building one? If you looked on a map, Sumner, Iowa would not be the first thing your eyes would float to. However, this small town of just over 2,000 residents is home to one of the nation's leading ambulance manufacturers, Lifeline Emergency Vehicles.
I kind of call it the Cinderella story.
Lifeline was founded in 1985 by father-son duo Jim and Terry Leischer and started off very small.
At the beginning, there was just a few handful of employees, about 7 or 8, and it took us months to build 1 unit. And now we build 14 to 17 units a month.
While the company purchases a lot of their material from Iowa, they sell and are known nationwide. But 25 years after the company started, President and CEO of Lifeline, Terry Leischer, died at his home of natural causes. This then led his wife, Connie, to take over.
I felt that I knew the most about the business, even though I didn't work here every day. I was the blood, sweat, and tears in the beginning when he didn't get paychecks. So I knew I wanted it to stay here. You know, had a feel for the community and all these employees, and I wanted to be successful.
And successful, it stayed.
Everything is custom. We're high-end and very, very custom, so you can pretty much have your ambulance your way. Once the dealer meets with committees that are the different ambulance services, and sometimes that's the longest process. We may do drawings for them 3 or 4 times before they make their final decision to get it to us, and it starts in metals and goes from there.
Here at Lifeline, it takes all 168 employees and 30 days to transform this aluminum shell into a working ambulance. Each ambulance goes to the different workstations in order to get the final product. Some of these stations include a flooring, interior, and paint.
And I'm not biased when I say this because our customers tell it to us all the time, but our product, our ambulance, is the best built and has the best quality put into it by our workforce.
With Connie's strong background in the EMS department, it's no surprise she has not missed a beat after taking over, both with the manufacturing of ambulances and satisfaction of employees.
It's kind of full circle, actually. That's Terry kind of felt about it with building the ambulance. He would say he built them, and I taught people how to work out of them. EMS gets in your blood, and when you're in EMS, it's just there.
And for Connie, it stays. Even though Lifeline is nationally known, The company stays true to their roots by purchasing many materials from Iowa and employing many people from the Cedar Valley and surrounding areas.
Cases of intravirus have made their way to the Cedar Valley area. The intravirus targets children affected by asthma and other respiratory illnesses. The virus is transmitted through close contact and has some of the same symptoms as a common cold. There is currently no vaccine, but good hygiene can go a long way in preventing the virus. Dr. Shannon Mall from the Waverly Health Clinic says there's a simple way you can protect your children.
Hand hygiene is important in this particular case, not just the antibacterial hand washes with the alcohol in it, but actually washing with soap and water appears to be more important.
Wartburg College unveiled a new campaign yesterday. Cedar Valley Today's Elizabeth Jewett got a first-hand look.
Students took a stroll down the orange carpet Thursday as Wartburg unveiled its new Worth It campaign. Students stopped at information booths to collect info cards, buttons, and a free t-shirt. Faculty and student reaction seemed relatively positive.
I love it. It's a great day and everybody's out and about, so you're seeing students from all over the place, and so I think it's a great way to get all of campus kind of together, and it's on the whole Worth It page.
Although many changes seemed to happen overnight, this was not the case.
It goes back weeks and months and even years. We did a lot of research. We sat down and talked with a lot of people, current students, prospective students, alumni, faculty, staff. We asked them about what makes Wartburg special, what makes Wartburg a quality place, and as we asked those questions and we learned more, it just boiled down to those two words, worth it. So we've worked since then to develop all the look and the feel and the messaging that communicates what they had told us in an easy to understand marketing kind of way.
Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Elizabeth Jewett.
And Jesse Kielman is here with a first look at the weather.
How's it looking today, Jesse?
Well, actually, I've got good news and I've got bad news for you. The bad news is that it's going to start off a little bit cool and it's going to get a little bit windy. The good news is it is going to get pretty warm. So 56 degrees as we start off the morning this morning. It's going to creep up to 69 degrees over the noon hour, but that wind's going to pick up to 26-mile-an-hour winds over the noon hour. 5 o'clock, temperature's going to rise all the way to 74 degrees, but that wind's going to keep crawling as well, 29 mile an hour winds over the 5 o'clock hour. Tomorrow, we're looking at early on a 30% chance of thunderstorms, but that should taper off early. It's going to get heated up. 81 is our high tomorrow.
So it's looking pretty good. Might have to whip out the shorts again this weekend.
Yeah, looking pretty balmy, so we got to make sure we enjoy it.
Wonderful.
A man accused of recruiting for ISIS had a court appearance Thursday in Rochester, New York. Mufid Elfji is accused of giving an FBI informant money to buy weapons and ammunition. He against police officers and U.S. soldiers who have returned from Iraq. The 30-year-old pleaded not guilty to all 7 charges against him.
Home Depot says 56 million credit cards were compromised in its recent data breach. The breach happened between April and September. The company says the virus that caused the breach has been removed from networks in the U.S. and Canada. Home Depot has finished a new encryption program to make data safer.
Cedar Valley Today went to the University of Northern Iowa and Wartburg College to talk politics.
We asked students their thoughts on the Iowa Senate election. And of course, we couldn't ignore Hillary Clinton and her potential race for presidency.
Joni Ernst and Bruce Braley.
I heavily support Bruce Braley and everything that he does, and I think he would make an excellent senator, and I think that people should vote for him.
I can't say. If I was going to, I would probably vote for Joni Ernst.
I'm still undecided.
If I were to vote, it'd be Joni, but I'm not sure if I'm going to vote yet.
I just got my citizenship, so I'm pretty excited to be voting in my first elections.
No, I got it in my mailbox, but I didn't really look at it.
And I got to see her and Bill give their speeches, and Hillary laid some pretty heavy hints that she's probably going to be running, and I think it's a pretty good idea that she will be running.
I was there, and it was a riot.
I will not vote for her. Why not? I don't know. I just think she already tried it the first time, so it's like, no thank you.
So I think that'd be awesome if she would, but I'm not sure I'd vote for her just because I know that she's into hunting bears and wolves and stuff, and I'm not into that.
Very powerful woman, and that she should run for president.
A girl president would be nice.
And coming up next on Cedar Valley Today, we sit down with 3 experts to discuss domestic abuse. Stay with us.
Good morning. Welcome back to Cedar Valley Today. Current temperatures is 56 degrees as you start your day today. That's going to be climbing up to 69 degrees over the noon hour. That wind, however, is going to be picking up at 26 miles an hour at noon. It's going to be 29 miles an hour at 5 o'clock, 74 degrees for your commute home. Overnight, we're looking at a 30% chance of thunderstorms, but not a whole lot of rainfall there. And the good news is it can clear out pretty early. 75 degrees over the noon hour, and that sun's coming out, and it is staying out. 80 degrees over the 5 o'clock hour. And now we're going to look around and see what your weekend's looking like. Again, like I said, heating up. It's going to top out there on Saturday. 81 degrees is our high, but it's going to be cooling right back down. Sunday, 72, but that sunshine, though, is still going to be there. Looking around the state, however, 73 in Dubuque today, 74 in Cedar Rapids, 77 in Mason City. Des Moines looking at 79 degrees, and 80s out west. They're looking at about a 30% chance of rain throughout the day today, though. And around the nation, New York's looking at 68 degrees, 73 in Washington, D.C. Miami's at 84 degrees, and Houston at 86. Both of them are looking at rainfall, though, as is Seattle. And sunny for Los Angeles and Denver. And looking ahead to your 5-day forecast, like I said, topping out there 81 degrees on Saturday, cooling off Sunday and staying cool. Good news, though, is that sunshine's going to be there all week long. And now I'm going to toss that on over to Ashley.
In early September, the video was released of Ray Rice slamming his wife in an elevator. Since then, there have been 2 more similar cases involving NFL players. Today, a discussion about domestic violence and abuse. Joining me is Ben Breskern, the Executive Director of Cedar Valley Friends of the Family, Dr. Penny Pierre, Wartburg College Director of Women's Studies, and Dr. Bill Withers, a Public Relations Professor at Wartburg College. Thanks for being here today. So I'm going to toss the first question over to Ben. A lot of people were kind of confused about his Ray Rice's wife going back. And you provide services to women of the Cedar Valley. So what's the biggest challenge you face when trying to help these victims of abuse and violence?
Well, as a shelter program, we have people that are coming in that are leaving that abusive relationship. And they're coming in with no resources, trying to help them understand what's occurred, how do they get through this moment that they're in now, because they're just trying to live day to day at that point. Understanding that cycle of violence that they've gone through, and then finding resources that will allow them to move through shelter and try to put their life back together.
And you're also, now you're working on a violence prevention program, working with, young football players. How do you see this, helping future prevention of abuse and violence?
I think prevention is the key. At Cedar Valley Friends of the Family, we like to say that we're shaping a future free of violence and homelessness. And the way that we do that is we engage young males into preventing violence. In the end, it's 95% males that are committing the violence. We have to engage them if we're going to do that. So using a program like Coaching Boys into Men, if Ray Rice would have had that when he was younger, he may not be in this situation at this point in time.
And now, Dr. Pierre, let's talk a little bit about domestic violence in the media. Typically, how does the media report domestic violence? And because it's oftentimes confused, sometimes the victim is accused of causing the violence or asking for it, so to say. So why is this sometimes the case?
Well, I think that in terms of the current cases, that the media tends to report high-profile or sensationalized cases, and they don't treat it like an epidemic. The World Health Organization said that domestic violence, they actually classified it as an epidemic in 1994, and we've really done little to reverse the numbers of domestic violence, both domestically and internationally. And so the problem is that when these high-profile cases are reported, it's often done as a means to titillate, to get high click response. For example, the video that TMZ released with Ray Rice. I mean, I personally, I think that was an unethical move on the part of a media organization to re-victimize the victim in that case. I mean, she has a right to tell her own story, right? And that was completely taken away from her. Not to mention, because he's such a high-profile individual, that there was going to be some polarizing discussion around, who he was, and because she subsequently married him, then it started all the victim shaming, and blaming her for being in her situation. And what we know about women who live in abusive households, sometimes they leave their abusers many times and go back to them many times before they leave. And oftentimes the most dangerous time for a woman is when she leaves her abuser. And so the problem is not that the media is covering domestic violence, but the way in which it's covering it. It's covering it as really a sensationalized product of the media, when we should have a sustained, serious, long-term discussion about domestic violence and how we create a culture of domestic violence by what we say and by what we left unsaid.
And real quick, Bill, I just want you to get to, how do you think the NFL handled their PR?
Briefly, the NFL's had a tremendous PR situation blow up in their face, and predominantly it's because they really don't have a systemic policy on how to address some of these things. It is by its nature a very violent sport. Compare and contrast to Major League Baseball, they have systems and protocols and policies in place. The NFL is just unfolding now some things that they know they need to address and be very consistent across the board in how they deal with their professional athletes. And I think that's the biggest issue, is how leadership dealt with it publicly, and then what policies and protocols do we have in place to deal with that now and in the future.
All right, well, thank you very much for being with us here today. You can find more information on the wartburgcircuit.org. Coming up next, the owner of the gym CrossFit Kilo joins us to talk about their new location. Stay with us.
Waverly is now home to a new gym, but this one is a little different than most. Armand McCormick is the owner of the gym CrossFit Kilo. Joins us now to talk about the gym he and his wife just opened. Armand, a lot of people don't know what CrossFit is, so can you explain what it is?
It's a difficult question to always answer. It's simply it's a fitness program, strength conditioning program. We do a variety of weightlifting, a variety of cardiovascular movements such as running, rowing, jumping rope, and gymnastics, meaning nothing more than moving your body through space. It's not like we always do flips and things, but pull-ups, push-ups, squats, things of that nature.
Okay, and what made you decide to open a location in Waverly?
You know, we had a big following of Waverly people down in Cedar Falls, and I thought, well, we might as well put one up here, kind of open up the spot in Cedar Falls a little bit, leave a little bit more room, and also offer it so that they're not driving. We had people driving down there and back every day, so kind of help them out a little bit.
All right, well, we're running short on time, so that's all we have for today. The gym CrossFit Kilo also has locations in Cedar Falls and Waterloo. For more information on CrossFit and how to sign up for classes, visit the Wartburg Circuit at www.wartburgcircuit.org. And up next, and find out how one San Diego woman is changing the game of football.
Over the last couple of weeks, football has been in national headlines for a lot of negative reasons.
However, one San Diego woman has brought some positive news this week when the San Diego high school football team gave her a promotion.
All right, football. Hard hits, big pads. Go! It's a rough game. It's also a man's game.
Set, go!
But don't say that to Ninji Martin.
Let's go, guys.
Martin finds herself in a unique position. As of this week,
20 and back!
She is the head coach of the San Diego High School varsity football team.
I was excited because I set a goal for myself to be a varsity head coach before I was 40. Got there a little bit quicker than I anticipated. Come on, guys!
Martin got the job after head coach Doug Packwood stepped down 3 games into the season. Packwood told me on the phone he simply wasn't the right fit.
Line, go!
With the season already in gear, the Cavers turned to their junior varsity coach, Ninji Martin.
Mohammed, why'd you stop short? It's just coaching. Just like when you go to a championship game, yeah, it's a little bit bigger, but it's still just a football game. I got names for all of it.
Now, Martin didn't cut her teeth studying the game.
Work hard! Work hard! Hit hard!
She cut them under the pads.
I have some stats. I'm not just talking. I actually do.
She's number 47 for the San Diego Surge, a team that played for the Women's Football Alliance title last year. Martin has been a team MVP 9 times. It helps that she catches touchdowns while smashing defenders at the end of the play, and she breaks quarterbacks.
Does it help knowing that she can lay you out?
The players admittedly were taken by surprise.
We're going to go through special teams.
But they respect their coach.
I think she's going to do great.
Martin's not nervous either.
I don't just want to go down in history as a woman who coached football.
She's the coach.
I want to inspire other people to do what they love.
Martin is the second female in the last 2 weeks that was promoted to head coach. Brittany Garner of Pickett County, Tennessee was also promoted after the second dismissal of a male head coach. And we'll bring it back to Jesse Kielman after the break for one last look at the weather.
Hello and welcome back to Cedar Valley Today. We're going to get one last look at the forecast for you. This weekend's going to be very nice. 81 degrees on Saturday. Nice sunshine, and that's going to stick with us all week. 72 degrees on Sunday, and it's going to get a little bit cooler, say in those 70s for you, but the sunshine's going to stay out there. So we're looking at a little bit more fallish weather, but hopefully we get to enjoy it just the same.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Have a great day, Cedar Valley.